Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let's discuss this task, the block game. The challenge said the citizen of Baitland regularly play a game 3 rounds. On each round, they have blocks, each denoting an integer from 0 to 9. They are arranged together in a random manner without looking at them to form different numbers. So this game consists of 3 rounds, and in each round, there are a number of blocks that are constructing based on they are numbering from 0 to 9, so they are constructing in a random manner to form different numbers. The player forms a number n, reads it in a reverse order, then checks if the number and its reverse are the same. This is called palindrome number. At each round, the player wins if he or she has 2 or more rounds with palindrome numbers. So if the number and its reverse are equal to each other, then this number is called a palindrome. And if the player has 2 or more of them, then we can say that this player is win the game. So Omar happens to see this game and want to simulate it using C++ program. He wants to take input from the user and check if the number is a palindrome and decide if the player wins or not. So can you help Omar if you know that the first block is never 0 and each round should have 2 or more of the numbered blocks? One block is not allowed. So you have 2 or more to play this game. Each round may have the same number of used blocks or not, as the samples below. Now the constraint for this task is that t, which represent, as we said above, the rounds, the number of rounds, t is supposed to be from 1 to 20, the number of rounds, and n, which represents the number, is from 1 to 10,000. Now the input format for this program supposed to be the first line of the input contains t, the number of rounds the game going on. This t in the second line followed by t lines containing an integer n, each of them containing an integer. The number n is the selected the number represent, as we said previously, the number that consists after being formed from using the sum blocks, selected blocks from 0 to 9. Now the output for this program is supposed to be wins for each of the inputs. So if the user input 3, this means that there are 3 rounds. So in the first round, this is the input, which represents n. Now the output is supposed to be either wins or losses. Now, after evaluating each of these rounds, then you have to calculate whether the winner, the player is winner or not, based on this criteria that say that the winner considered winner if he or she has 2 or more numbers with a palindrome number over all rounds. So if the winner or if the player has 2 or more numbers, then we can say that he is or she is a winner. Okay, this is another sample here. We have 2 rounds, and the first round the number wins, the second losses. So hard luck, no winner at all, because the wins is less than or equal to 2, less than 2, sorry. And as for the first case, as you see here, we have 3 rounds, so we have 3 numbers. The first round number wins because it's as you say here, it's palindrome, and this is also wins. The last one also the first number wins losses because it's not a palindrome. The reverse is not equal to the original number. And as for the second and the third one, they are wins because, as you see here, they are a palindrome numbers. So because there are 2 wins, we can evaluate this player as a winner. So your program is supposed to print winner to represent this case. Now let us try to understand how to solve this issue. As you see here, we start our program by declaring a number of variables to help us manipulate this case. The first one here is t, which represents the number of rounds based on the question. The second one represents n, which is represent the number formed using the selected blocks. As for temp and rev, when here we can say that these variables are created to help us manipulate the case. So temporary is a variable that we needed to store the number temporarily, the original number, because n will be changed in this code. And for reverse, rev represent the reverse version of the number. When is a variable used to calculate the number of wins in order to evaluate whether the player is winner or not. We let the user now enter t, the number of rounds, as the test case said here. So user is supposed to enter this number t. Now we enter in a for loop which start from 1 to t, which means that we need to make loops from the first number to the t's number to the number t. So if we have 3, t equal 3, then to the third number. So the loop here represents the number of cycles or the loops that we need, because we have 3 numbers. As for the first case, for instance, we need 3 rounds, or we need 3 circles using this loop. Now we enter n, which represents the first number, and we initialize the reverse variable by 0 to make sure that it's clear and there is no rubbish coming from the memory. As for the original number n, we store it temporarily in the temp variable because we need to change it using this block that is written to try to extract the reverse version of the number, the entered number. So while the number is not is positive or greater than 0, do the following steps. The first step equal reverse times 10 plus n mod 10. This line of code help us to make shift for the reverse number, especially this term help us to make shift for the reverse number to the left. Then we add the new remainder to it. So each time we take the mod for each number, we extract the remainder from the number. Then we shift the number to the left by 1 digit. After that, we need to drop the remainder from the original number to extract the number without the remainder. So by dividing the number by 10, we drop the remainder from each from this number each time we make this this statement executed. Now we want to compare the produced reverse after times of manipulating or executing of this block of code. We now have a reverse version of the number, and the temporary already have the original version of the number. So if the reverse version equal to the original version, this means that it's a palindrome number. So by this, in this case, we see out wins, as the question says, and we add, now we calculate accurately the number of wins. Otherwise, as you see here, we see out losses. After this comparison, and after all the rounds done, we need now to calculate whether the player has number of wins greater than or equal to, because the question said that each round should have 2 or more, each round have the same number. No, let's return to the condition that says that winner, if he or she has 2 or more numbers with a palindrome number overall round, then this player is a winner. So we have to check that. If wins greater than or equal to, then please print winner, otherwise hard luck, and that's it. When we run the code, as you see here, it's perfectly matched with the test cases in the question. as you see here. And if we submit it, we will get 10 out of 10. Thank you for listening and good luck.